Sherri Scott. I am the transition coordinator for Divine Intervention Center, where we believe that every student has purpose, gifts, and God-given talents. Welcome to DICTV. I am so very excited because this is the first of our job exploration counseling series. So what is job exploration counseling? Job exploration counseling is where we expose you to various careers and job options, hoping to meet your interests, your talents, your preferences, so that eventually when the time comes, you will be able to be proud of having a job that you truly enjoy, having the ultimate, which is job satisfaction. This week in our classrooms, we have been focusing on the childcare industry. We've been focusing on it with lectures, activities, and videos, but we think it's also extremely important for you to actually be able to hear from someone successfully operating within the industry. So today, we are bringing on a very special guest, and I hope that you will warmly greet her, as I am so thankful for her presence. Today, we are welcoming Ms. Tyasia Barefield. She is a child care specialist, and she is also the owner of, and I want to look down because I want to say it right, My Little Clubhouse Playcare. So if you will give a warm welcome to Ms. Barefield. Thank you so much for being with us.
Okay, thank you for having me. And I am going to let you all know that I am going to be looking down almost the entire time because I'm not when it comes to, like, I guess, speaking to adults or and I did take some notes on some things that I share with you all. So.
Well, that is just fine. So we will both be doing that together. So the first thing that I want to ask you is, tell me the difference between, before we get into some of the questions, your organization, your facility is called a Playcare. So what's the difference between a Playcare and a daycare, if you will?
Okay, so the difference, I like to say the difference of me being called a Playcare is because I don't want to use that phrase, we learn through play, which we're typically taught to say is we learn through play, but I like to say we learn through experiences. That's the difference between me and a lot of daycares. We don't just sit at a desk like we're in elementary or high school and be taught book work all day.
Okay.
I give them so many different experiences because of my own personal life. My parents took me out of the country for the first time when I was 2 years old.
Oh my.
Bolivia. I remember
Bolivia. Oh my.
when I was 4, I went to Jamaica for the first time, and I remember those things. And so that's what I wanted to do with my own kids. And then when I started daycare, reason being because I had children, when I wanted to do the same thing, I was like, I want them to remember these things for the rest of their life.
Awesome.
So that's why I let them learn through experiences, and that's why we're called a Playcare instead of a daycare.
A daycare. And see, that leads me to that. Actually, was about to lead me to my next question, which was what started you or what got you started in the childcare industry. And it's because you had children, and elaborate a little bit more on that.
Okay, so I'm from Chicago. I am a single mother. I've unfortunately always been a single mother. And I had children young.
Okay.
Back in Chicago, 14 years ago when I started, I was almost making minimum wage and like way overworking in order to pay my rent and only pay daycare. That's it. I didn't have enough money for anything else but rent and daycare. And that was just my calculations when I budgeted. And I was like, this is impossible. Like, I won't have enough money for bills, food, or nothing. And I didn't want to ask my parents for help, of course. Like, hey, they would have, but I didn't want to do that. So I went to a daycare and I asked them, I said, if I work for you, how much do you pay? They kind of gave me a number. I think it was like $13 at the time. And again, we're in Chicago.
Right. Right.
They gave me a number. It was around $13. And I said, if I work for you and I only want my child to get free daycare. And you help me get through school so I don't have to pay student loans, I'll
Mhm.
accept 8.
Wow.
And the lady looked at me and she was like, you want to take $8? We can get you those courses. That's no problem, whatever you need.
Mhm.
And so they did that. But within a week, they were asking me to be their assistant manager. And then within a month, they were asking me, could I be their director?
Oh my.
Yes. And so it just went up from there to the point where they were like, hey, you're worth more than that. We're going to give you that $13. We're going to
Mhm.
pay for school, and your child's going to go here for free. And because
What
I
a
was
blessing.
so grateful for that. I was, it was a 1-year contract thing. And I was
Mhm.
like, I never want to quit. And so
Mhm.
I ended up working for them for 5 years until I said, I want to go in. I want to be like you.
Mhm.
That you're doing, how you made me feel, the things you did for me as a single parent. I want to do those same things for somebody else because people don't get those opportunities. And
Right.
that's what go into ownership.
Okay. And some of the things that we tell some of our students is sometimes you don't actually know where you fit or what your niche is until you're actually in it. And
Yes.
that sounds like exactly what happened for you. You knew you needed a daycare for yourself. And I love the fact that you went in and took the type of initiative to say, here's a proposal
Yeah.
for you. And it worked out wonderfully for you. And here you are. So you've been, how long have you been an owner of your own Playcare?
An official owner of full day daycare, because I started off as just night care.
Mm-hmm.
An official owner of full day daycare since 2016.
Okay, okay.
That's
And
been
what do you, go ahead, I'm sorry.
that's been in home all the way until this point where I kind of was gifted a center.
You were gifted a center. Now tell us a little bit about that. Because I love to hear how sometimes if you're operating within your talents, operating within your gifts and within your purpose, it's good for our students to know that doors can open for you. So tell
That
us a little bit about that.
So doors can definitely open for you that you've never expected. And people get so hung up on the fact that, teachers and in childcare, they feel like they're underpaid. But if you're walking in your purpose, it's going to be rewarding eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with me in this particular situation is I've been here for 2 years with our Playcare in Memphis. And it's not been 2 years. It will be 2 years. It'll be 2
Okay.
years for the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
December the 6th, it'll be 2 years today. We're in October. But I came here during COVID.
Okay.
And I studied the demographics during COVID. And I said, everybody's shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do? Even my part-time job in childcare, they shut down completely.
Okay.
I said, what am I gonna do? I need to go somewhere where jobs aren't gonna shut down.
Right.
I went to where I looked for Amazon, to be
Okay.
honest. Amazon was at the peak. I said, let me find a place near Amazon.
Uh-huh.
I went a little bit further in my demographics and said, what kind of people am I gearing my business to? I said, I need to find people who can't afford to stop working.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did next. Because people were like, you're going to Memphis? Why would you do that? You're living. And I was like, I've never been to Memphis, ever.
Okay.
I just heard some scary things. And I was like, you know what? But these group of people need me. They
Mm-hmm.
need me. Because typically when you are going to an area which is predominantly poverty level is high,
Mm-hmm.
those are the kids that need you the most.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kids where my business is based off safety and reliability.
Right.
I want to keep those kids safe. So I came to Memphis. I looked in Memphis. I said, "Where is an Amazon coming?" There was one opening right
Mm-hmm.
there, right in Memphis. They said, "We're opening Amazon." I got an email that said, "We're opening Amazon. Come work here." And so what I did was found me a house, made me some flyers. I, looked at everything that I need to do beforehand, of course, like rules and regulations. I made a
Mm-hmm.
flyer, went to Amazon. They asked me, they said, "Are you looking for a job?" I said, "I need to talk to HR." "Are you looking for a job?" I said, "No, I want to give you a flyer to put into your orientation packet."
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed full after that. My waiting
That
list,
is amazing.
yeah, my waiting list was like 70 kids because Amazon has people going in and out all the time. So that's what I did. And when I came here.
That is amazing. And it's really so great to hear this information because some of our students are interested in working with children. Some of them are interested in, working in a daycare, but some of them may be interested in owning a daycare. And so to hear the type of initiative that you need to take, the type of studying that you need to do, the type of research that you need to do, and then just to be bold enough to step out there and say, "Hey, I want you to put my information in your orientation package." So you did some research about the demographics. You did some research. You honed in on your target audience, and all of those things are extremely important when we're talking about starting a business. So the kids who are listening to this and interested in actually owning a daycare, that's really great information for them to hear. So thank you for sharing that. What is it that you love the most about working in this industry?
The thing that I love the most is that I get to be as creative as I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a SOP, a handbook that you have to follow. And it's
Right.
like this, and this. We do have a lot of rules and regulations and different policies and things that we have to follow, but we also get to make it our own.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a creator. I'm an artist. Daycare is 95% theater and 5% teaching. So, yeah.
Okay.
I get to make everything my own. I get to be creative. If you give me a piece of paper that is white and you say, "I need you to teach kids about this color today."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, "Oh, okay, what color is this?" They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to teach a kid that this is white. And, when you put color on it, it does something different.
Right.
The base color, how am I going to do that? Am I just going to throw crayons in front of them and say, "Okay, color a picture"? Or am I going to take white rose and put it in food coloring and watch it turn into another color? I get to do so many fun things. And
Which is
that's,
delightful for them.
yeah.
Absolutely delightful. And so when we're talking about it, my next question is going to be, what type of skill set would you suggest or would you recommend for students to have if they are interested in working in the childcare industry? And one of them you just said was creativity, taking hold of something and making it fun, remembering that you are working with children. So just talking about just something regularly won't do. You will do a lot better if you have to have some creativity. But what other skills would you recommend?
Number one skill is patience.
Okay.
Because like all kids, like all people,
Mm-hmm.
every day they're going to test your patience.
Right.
Not even just testing your patience. Like I was talking about, kids need you on different levels for different things. And you might have kids that don't communicate the same as children that are in the room. So you might have 10 kids that talk, and then your 11th child doesn't talk, but he bites when he wants something. You have to be patient enough to want to learn how to communicate with them and them. Another thing that is really important is communication skills. Being able to have empathy, knowing the difference between empathy and sympathy.
Right.
Things that I had to really get used to, because I was that person that's kid falls on the floor, you're okay, get up. Okay, because but I didn't realize that I was not having empathy. Like, oh no, they want to feel that love when they're away from their parents. So that's important.
Right. So we're saying communication skills, creativity, empathy, as well as sympathy, but certainly empathy. What was one other one you just said? I forgot what it was. Patience. And that was the first one you said, a lot of patience. And actually, I would say maybe being able to take the time to learn your students, because everybody has a different personality, and everyone, even the little ones, have needs that the other ones don't need. So being able to really pay attention to them and learn them. So talk to me about I'm sorry, go ahead.
One more thing that is really important. So team building is important when you're working with other people. Leadership is very important, no matter if you're an assistant or if you're a lead teacher or a director. Having good leadership is really important, because the kids need to know, hey, I'm relatable. I'm not going to control you, but yes, I am the boss in this classroom. Being a good leader is very important.
And that kind of leads me to my next question. Talk about the roles played within your daycare. What types of jobs, outside of course, the owner, what are the types of jobs are found within a Playcare or daycare?
Okay, so to be honest, I wear a lot of hats. But as the owner, your job is to create the plan.
Right.
Director's job is to carry out that plan. To run the day-to-day operations and make sure they're running smoothly, safely, and in accordance with the state regulations. The teacher's job is to take that curriculum, make it their own, as well as monitoring the students. They're establish that personal relationship with the parents and the student, to build that trust. So it's like, hey, I'm going to listen to you, teacher, because you know what you're talking about. You care about giving me the correct information. And the assistant is supposed to back them up.
Okay.
Yep.
So those are a lot of different roles within the organization. So for students who are listening, if you're not interested in owning your own daycare, you know that there's a huge responsibility. Everything stops with her. The buck stops with her because she is the owner. But she works with a number of people to execute her vision and to make the daycare or Playcare a success. So please know that even if you're not owning it, you can still go in and work. So what type of educational requirements education is required to actually work in a daycare or Playcare?
It's depending on your state. You always want to check your state regulations, and they update them all the time. To just work in a daycare, you just need a high school diploma to work. That's just entry level as an assistant. And it goes further. If you want to be a lead teacher, a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, if you want to be a lead teacher. As a director, you need a bachelor's degree in early childhood or child psychology, along the lines of that. If you don't have that, you can have a CDA credential, which is a national accreditation. And also, you need to take a director's qualification course with the state if you just have that.
So just to be very clear for our students, could you tell us what CDA stands for?
Oh, goodness. It's the Lord. Why am I stumped by that?
That's okay. We can come back to it.
Yeah, let's come back. Why am I stumped by that?
We can come back to it. Talk to me about
Child Development Association. And I have those books, a million of them.
Child Development Association.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's program because it can be anywhere from 9 months to
Mhm.
like 2 years. You can do it over time.
Okay.
In Tennessee, Pro Solutions Training now has one that's with the state that you can
Pro
do.
Solutions.
Yeah, you can do it online. Um, and they have all those credits in one spot.
That's excellent information because we also talk with our students about post-secondary. What are you going to do when you graduate high school? And so mapping out different pathways. So it's good to know about Pro Solutions. I'm going to look that up and get some more information. So
Yes.
our students who are interested in going into the childcare industry can know a little bit more about it. Pro Solutions. I'll remember that.
And they have a lot of training courses on there. A lot of, yes.
And it's online. It can be
yes.
online.
Yes.
Okay. So I was on your Facebook page and I saw that you do a lot of different things. There was a pajama party. You do a lot of things, and so your creativity really comes out with some of the events and things that you offer to your babies and their parents. So tell us a little bit about anything that's upcoming as far as your events go.
So right now we have mini models competition.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of things to fundraise for tuition for parents.
Mm-hmm.
Mini models is something that I do every single year. And it's my, I guess you can say, grant program that they can tap into. Last year I gave away $1,600 in tuition to one student. So that helped that family a lot, especially
Yes, it does.
the week before Christmas. Um, that's one thing that we have going on. We also are doing our Thanksgiving fundraiser, and that's where we choose 10 families to donate to. And I let the children make the bags, and they make them a nice note, and we up and we go and drop them off.
That is awesome. That is, Ms. Barefield. That is awesome.
And we participate in so many things, from prom to sneaker ball, graduation. There's so many things that we do. So
I see that. Well, so before we get to the part where you show us around your facility just a little bit, what would you say is because we've heard all about a lot of the pros. What is a con to working in the childcare industry? What is a challenge that students may need to be aware of?
I think there's two challenges that I would like students to be aware of. Okay. The one thing is sometimes you're gonna feel discouraged. It's with customer service anywhere. In any job, you might have a hard customer, and no different. And it's even more intense because you're working with people's children.
Right.
So that's why I said communication is really important. Empathy and sympathy, understanding the difference, that's all really important. Because if you have that hard parent that comes in and completely flies off the handle, you have to know how to handle them. You can't break down and cry or want to quit because you're emotionally connected to your job, because you will be. This is the childcare industry. We all get emotionally connected.
Right.
So you kind of have to be able to remove your emotions and be logical when you're communicating with parents. So that's one thing for sure. The second thing I will say is having kids leave, whether because they're going to big kids school or because they moved. It's a hard thing. I've cried. Oh, I cried. I went to kids' first day of school before. Because I want to see your teacher.
My. Miss Barefield. I'm handing them over. You got to take care of them.
Yes, I'm like, call me if somebody be mean to you. Tell me, what's your friend name?
Tell me all about it. I
Yes.
think that is wonderful, and you seem to be so well suited to what you're doing. And I'm so happy that you have found your purpose and walking in it and enjoying it, because our students need to see that this is more than possible. And if the childcare industry is for them, then at least they know a little bit more about it just from listening to you. So at this time, would you mind showing us a little bit of your facility? And again, this is called My Little Clubhouse Playcare.
Yes, I will. So I'm actually at the new location.
Okay.
And this building holds 85 children, versus the 12 that I have now.
Uh-huh.
So we're going through licensing right now, and everything is not completely done, but I wanted to be here so I can show you all, because I am very proud of what I've done.
And as you're walking, could you tell a little bit about some of the things that licensing agents would be looking for, and why they're important and that type of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to just turn the camera around here while we go through a couple of things.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Look at there.
So here we are in one of my classrooms. And I have 2 tables here in the art center. One thing they're going to look for is that they can easily tell where the centers are. Okay. I have a sign here on the wall. I have their smocks here. The crayons and things will be there. The tables are their size, because you don't want to have big, huge tables with their feet hanging off here where they have to jump down, because that will be a safety hazard.
Okay.
I have cots, which are their size. The library area has to be far from the block area, which is in that corner.
Okay.
Because it needs to be quieter, even though it's not going to be quiet. But you don't want...
At least give that illusion.
Yeah, you don't want banging blocks next to your library area. Okay. They're going to look for, in the housekeeping area, do you have enough costumes for the kids to play in this area in dramatic play? So I have enough costumes because 4 children can fit over in this area. So I have about 8 costumes on those hooks where they can, have a variety of choices. Is there enough food? That's another thing they're going to look for. Okay. Do you have toys that will appeal to boys and girls in this area? So those things are important. We have a ton of toys. Is everything organized? Yeah, is everything organized? Is it neat? Those are the things they're going to look for. Okay. We're into another classroom over here. So again, there's block area. There's the housekeeping area. Here we have library. We got a computer there that we're going to unfold soon. So we'll have a technology center, and that is so important. They want to know that posters are eye level. Their artwork that they can be proud of is eye level. Okay. And that's what I have here. Their posters and things that they can look at on their own. Okay. Also, that your paint and art center is next to a door or a sink. And so I have it next to a door, and also have a sanitizer bucket here. Gotcha. Just in case. They also want you to have coat hooks for each child. And I'm walking down the hallway, and it's just a little bit dark because I hadn't turned on the lights exactly.
Okay, but we can still see it, so.
We got some new cameras. Your office area. Okay. You have to have a parent board. And on your parent board is the public health regulations, your contact information, your policies visible and in the area that the parents can find them. So if you were to say, hey, your child can't come today because they're sick, and the parent says, well, pull that up for me, you have to be able to show them that.
Gotcha.
We have 2 bathrooms, one for boys and one for girls in this area. I'm gonna turn on a light here for you all.
Okay.
So you can see the toilets
Mm-hmm.
are low
little
to the
people.
ground
Mm-hmm.
for a student to be able to get onto the toilet.
Okay.
Also, they want you to have pictures and signs of how to wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
The time that you're supposed to spend washing your hands, and you need to have soap and sanitizer available. Sanitizer available just in case somebody is in line before you and you just need to put some sanitizer on while you're standing in line. So,
gotcha. Okay.
As far as the front desk, before anyone can go anywhere, you always need a sign in and a sign out sheet. Okay. So you can know exactly how many kids are in the building at all times.
At all times. Okay.
Yep. So these are the things that are most important. I do have other classrooms. I won't exactly go that far down into the other classrooms.
How many do you have? Just for you, I mean, not that you have to show, but how many do you actually have?
I have 5.
Well, okay, that's great. You said 85 students, 85 children?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 5. And I didn't go into the other classroom because I just have a couple helpers in here. Today we're doing sanitation so we can get ready for our inspection.
So when we're talking about safety, and of course you mentioned that early on, the importance of keeping our kids safe. How often do you have to go about sanitizing? You sanitize toys, you sanitize, of course, the building, the rooms. How big of a project is that, and how often do you have to do it?
Okay, so weekly we have to wash blankets and sheets because pop in their sleep and things like that.
Right.
All day we sanitize.
We're cleaning all day.
And when the kids sit down at the table, before they sit down at a table, we have to wipe it off. When they get up at the table, we have to wipe it off. Before lunch, we wipe the table off. After lunch, we wipe it off before they can put food on it. We're constantly cleaning the carpet. If you have floors, you have to mop after every meal. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're constantly cleaning. Weekly, we have the place cleaned by a cleaning company. But you don't necessarily have to do that. You could do that yourself, but every Friday you should be.
Okay. So I have one other question before we let you go. I know that there are different types of child care facilities. Now you said currently 12. So was that because you were in a home, or I mean, I know that what's the differences between like a center and a daycare home or whatever, just so our students can know if they choose to do this, that there are different types.
So there are multiple different programs. Before I worked in a church who had an after school program, and because it was a nonprofit, they didn't have the same rules and regulations that we had. It was a religious program, so they don't have to teach the things that we teach. They're going by their biblical instructions or whatever they need to do. Okay. You might have a home care, and in home care, you have to be able to separate your house from where the daycare area is. Like, there's absolutely no way you can set up a little play place in your room, bedroom, or your chat or your children's bedroom. Also, it's a difference in home because I have children. Even though I have an assistant, I have children. So and I'm homeschooling my children. So I have to count those kids in my number, which brings my number down. In your home, if you have a husband who is a felon, or a wife who is a felon, or a mom or dad who is a felon and they live in that home, you can't have your daycare there legally. They know everybody who lives in that home, everybody has to be able to be licensed in that home.
Gotcha.
A daycare center is much different. You have to get your daycare center licensed by the state. There's no way around that. In the state of Tennessee, I think in home without having a license, you can have 4 children total. And that depends on the age as well. Because if you have 4 infants, you have to get licensed. In a center, it depends on square foot. Also, there can be drop-in care. The rules are a bit different for drop-in care as well. Kids can't come Monday through Friday, 6 to 6 in drop-in care. I think there's a 5-day max or a 4-day max up to 7 a day. So each care center or each program has different rules and regulations. None of the same.
So for students who may be interested in owning a daycare, operating a daycare, or even working in a daycare, it's important for you to understand that there are different types, and therefore there are different rules and regulations to go along with that. So today we have learned about education requirements. We've learned about skill sets. We've learned about the different types of daycare centers, home care facilities. We've learned about the types of jobs within a daycare. And we've learned a great deal about your journey and why you started it. And then there may be some students who have the same goals in mind or the same experiences and may want to do this themselves. So students who are listening, we're hoping that by the time that you finish the rest of this week, as far as learning about daycares, and after listening to Ms. Barefield, you will be able to reflect and determine whether or not the daycare industry is for you. If you have passion, if you have creativity, if you have a love for children and working with children. So all of that is important. And this is why we are bringing you different career opportunities and bringing you different jobs so that you can learn and start to connect with these different types of things and learn what may be a great fit for you. So we want to thank you so much again, Ms. Barefield, for coming in and sharing your facility to us. It's wonderful, it's colorful, it looks like a lot of fun, and telling us about all of the wonderful things going on in my little clubhouse, Playcare. Thank you again for joining us today. We deeply appreciate you. And is there anything more you want to say before we end this this interview?
I'm not sure if there's something in particular that I want to say, but I am open to further questions if you need anything or have any more questions in relation to childcare. I am very welcoming and very inviting. I know sometimes you might turn to people and don't listen to my story and think everybody's going to be like that.
Right.
If people turn you away, that's fine. You can they say yes or no. Google is your friend.
Absolutely.
And your state website is your friend. I think it is tn.gov.
I believe it is.
Is that what it is? It's tn.gov. You pretty much can search anything in regards to child care licensing there. Go work in a daycare. If just getting from high school and you're not sure, but you love kids, go volunteer at a daycare.
Absolutely. That's a great plan.
Yes, volunteer on Fridays just to see if you like the environment, how it feels for you. And you might decide, hey, I can't see myself doing anything else.
Right. That's great information. And thank you for saying that. Volunteer opportunities, internships, part-time work, all of this. For any entry-level job, this gives you all of this information. When you get into a place, you can learn whether it's for you or not. So thank you for saying that. So we're going to end this call. Again, thank you so much, Ms. Barefield, for sharing with us today. And we wish you much continued success with your Playcare and everything else that you have going on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.